welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully all of you are on a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world, and welcome back to another transfer video for you guys tonight, and that is that Liverpool have agreed a £6.5 million deal to sign, of course, Aberdeen's right back, or Scottish right back, Calvin Ramsay. It is looking to be a done deal now, of course, subject to medicals and all that good stuff, but it does look like it is a done deal. Liverpool have got their man and have got the right back cover that is needed. So, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Of course, I already know there's going to be a lot of people going on about the centre mid situation that we will talk about as well. Of course, the news coming out that Liverpool won't sign a centre mid in this window. It is a 2023 priority. We'll be looking at all of the details for that anyway. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the chat. Let me know, your overall reaction to Liverpool signing Calvin Ramsay. It's been, pretty much a known thing throughout the summer that Liverpool were after Calvin Ramsay. Plenty of clubs wanted him. Leeds wanted him. Southampton supposedly wanted him as well. And there's a few other teams as well that I can't think of the top of my mind. But there were a lot of clubs interested in the Scottish international. But guys, let me know your thoughts. Ben Sinsing, 6.5 million. That's a bargain. That. Hello as well. Nice hat as well. Thank you, Ben. I know you'd be the first person to say that. My hair, I look like, if my hair was if my hat was off, I should say, like, it would be crazy. So yeah, the hat stays for now. Big up Connor, mate. Oh, yeah, cheating bastard. Hello, John. Hopefully on a fantastic day, my friend. Thank you very much for tuning in. Kristen as well saying, evening, mate. I hope you're well. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, mate. That's our backup right back sorted. Yeah, absolutely. Unbelievable transfer window for us so far. All that talk saying we won't go get a midfielder could be a trick. It could be a tactic, but we still see. But I'm happy with Carvalho, Ramsey, and Nunes. I don't think so. I don't think it's a tactic. I think Liverpool, well, of course, we'll speak about it a bit more in depth in a moment. But of course, I don't think it's a tactic for Liverpool. I think it's pretty much nailed on. Personally, hopefully he's our Simicus at right back, says Chris. Absolutely. Bring in Bellingham, and it's a 10 out of 10 window as well. And I'm not reading the comment out, Ben, because you're an absolute asshole as well. But you've seen it, and I have a very good hairline, I would say, anyway. But let's get into the news then. And guys, like I said, please keep commenting as well. Big thank you to all the support as well the last couple of days as well. I do very much appreciate it. If you could, if you're new around here or even watching, then please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell as well to remind yourselves when we go live or post a video, and as well the likes as well. That massively helps out the channel and helps out the algorithm as well, to let YouTube know that people are watching the video and all that good stuff as well. And also as well, we'll be going live probably 9 o'clock on from now on, I would say, because that's when the peak time looks to be, when everyone's here. So thank you very much for the support and all of that as well. But let's get on to the news then, that Liverpool are set to sign Scottish fullback Calvin Ramsay. Done deal. Official bid submitted last week and has been accepted by Aberdeen after changes on add-ons and structure. Ramsay will sign until June 2027, and he's agreed personal terms 1 week ago. Done and sealed. That is from, of course, as the guys over at 1892 like to say, the tapping merchant Fabrizio Romano. But of course, Paul Joyce did have his say on the deal as well, saying Liverpool agreed deal for Aberdeen's Calvin Ramsay, which is set to be their last incoming transfer of the window, prepared to wait until 2023 for midfield reinforcements. Now, I know plenty of people, like I did say, will be, screaming their hearts out, going, oh, we need a midfielder, this, that, and the other. But when you look at our midfield depth, it's actually quite strong. Obviously, when you have a midfield three of Thiago, Jordan Henderson, and Fabinho, if you do get that one or two injuries, we've spoken about it last season, we've spoken about it, more than last season as well, where Liverpool need reinforcements in that position. But when you look at it on the face of it right now, for example, going into pre-season, all the midfield is fit. So then you're fighting for people to get, game time, you've got, the three I've already spoken about: Naby Keita, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think might stay now. Depending on this news, I think Liverpool might just, let him run out his contract for the year. Of course, you've got James Milner, you've got the likes of Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones as well, even though the rumours were Curtis Jones and Nottingham Forest isn't going away, but I don't think Liverpool will let him go now, personally, with the news of us not signing a midfielder. I think that's pretty much nailed on. As well, you've got the new boy as well, Fabio Carvalho as well, coming in. So there's so many options for Liverpool in midfield. And I've seen plenty of people going, oh, well, Liverpool, you look at Liverpool's and City's midfield and this, that, and the other, and that's where Liverpool have lost the title. And it's not realistically, when you look at it, an FA Cup, a League Cup, getting to a Champions League final, and 92 points in a Premier League season, any other time in history, that would win you the Premier League. And look, our midfield, it works. It's the workhorse of our team. Look, of course, you're saying to me right now, do you want to get Jude Bellingham in right here, right now? Of course, absolutely, I would agree 100%. But Borussia Dortmund have been quite clear. They are not selling, two major, stars of their team in one summer. They're not. Plain and simple. Liverpool would have to pay a ridiculous fee to get Jude Bellingham out of Borussia Dortmund. Simple as. And I think as well, we'll move on in a moment as well and have a look. And guys, keep your comments coming in. But there's a reason why Liverpool are not going for any other player as well. And this as well from Dave Maddock as well, saying Liverpool have agreed a £6.5 million deal for Calvin Ramsay, takes summer spending close to £100 million and concludes incomings in this window. Jurgen Klopp ready to wait to make midfield his priority in the summer of 2023. Well-known admirer of Jude Bellingham, who may be available then. And that's the big thing, of course. It's a huge thing, but also as well, when we look at the other bits of news as well, from Paul Joyce as well, elaborating on the midfield options, saying Klopp is an admirer of Jude Bellingham, with Liverpool confident that they have enough depth in midfield this season. Their strategy is not to sign stopgaps. They are prepared to wait for the right player and disregard any criticism, that comes their way. Now, if we look at our current history at the moment, you look at players like Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool could have quite easily in the summer of 2018 gone out and bought another defender for probably a lot less than what we did with Virgil van Dijk. But Jurgen Klopp wanted Virgil van Dijk, and it's similar with Jude Bellingham. I believe anyway. I think that Jurgen Klopp has identified Jude Bellingham as the guy that he wants in this Liverpool midfield, and we look at it as well. And I think it kind of shows the development of Liverpool, going forward. James Milner is going into his last year of his deal, will most likely leave the club next year. Then, in my opinion, I think Jordan Henderson then moves into that role of James Milner, where, you can play him anywhere. Jordan Henderson for Liverpool has played, practically everywhere, all over the fields, all over the midfield. He played right back, he even played centre back for Liverpool as well. So there's plenty of people. Plenty of positions, I should say, for Jordan Henderson to, pick up that James Milner spot. But I think there's quite clearly then that midfielder that Liverpool want and, will get is Jude Bellingham. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go all out, and put all their eggs in the Jude Bellingham basket, but it's quite clear that Liverpool want Jude Bellingham, and they're willing to wait for an entire season to get him at Liverpool Football Club. Because when you think about it, what Jude is, 20? You're going to get at least 10 years of Jude Bellingham. And we already know Jude Bellingham is a Liverpool fan. Him, his brother as well. There's potential that Liverpool could get his brother as well. Potentially not this season, but next season as well. There's so many options out there. And possibilities as well. But guys, let me know your thoughts as well in the chat. First of all, Calvin Ramsay deal, £4 million with 2.5 million in add-ons as well. For me, I think Chris has already mentioned it. Another Kostas Tsimikas situation. Brilliant signing by Liverpool, and also as well, I think that £6 million for someone that you're going to have for the future as well. Potential. If Trent isn't there, we don't have to rely on the likes of James Milner, Jordan Henderson to be that backup, of course. And I will also say as well, I think now with Ramsay coming in, I think it's quite clear that Neco Williams now will be able to leave Liverpool as well. And I know plenty of people have mentioned, what happens to Conor Bradley as well. I think if Conor Bradley doesn't stay in the under-23 system, I think he might go out on loan. I don't think Liverpool sell Conor Bradley at all, because I think Conor Bradley can play as a right midfielder as well as a right back as well. But guys, let me know your thoughts and all that good stuff as well in the comment section down below. Let me quickly scroll back up. Anyway, John says, I don't believe we won't sign a centre mid, Connor. Think it's just the club keeping cards close. Can't speak. Cards close to their chest, potentially. But I think if the most reliable journalists are speaking about this, I think it's very rare they give the local journalists, of course, since the Van Dijk transfer, the news, and I think that's the thing. Look, if Liverpool did. If Liverpool were forced into the move, if Real Madrid come calling and made the first bid, because apparently Real Madrid are very interested in Jude Bellingham for next season as well. We've seen with Luis Diaz what Liverpool will do to get the deal done. Spurs made all the move for Luis Diaz. Liverpool were quick and got their man straight away, and I think that'll be the same as well. Anyway, we got enough options in midfield. Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, Keita, Milner, Jones, also Elliott and Carvalho can play there as well. Absolutely, I would agree with you there, Chris. Yeah, there is plenty of options. At the face of it, Liverpool have too many midfielders at the minute. But one or two injuries then to key players, and then you're like, Liverpool are a bit short at the moment. So it is that, isn't it? Just in from work, what's with what's the crack with Ramsay? Yeah, North, hopefully we've answered that. £6.5 million deal, my friend. And hopefully, medical will go all okay in the next couple of days. I think Liverpool have actually booked a medical for him, I think Monday, over the weekend. I'm not quite sure on that anyway, but of course, we'll let you know as soon as he's signed officially, and of course, Liverpool do their all announcements and things like that. We'll let you know straight away. Hi, Connor, as well. Brian, hello, Brian. Hopefully, a fantastic day, my friend. I think that's us done. We do have plenty of bodies in midfield, but we need Curtis and Naby lad to step up. Great opportunity for them. Yeah, would agree with you absolutely 100%. I think the thing is for Liverpool now is contracts. We spoke about it yesterday. Me and Doug spoke, and John was on as well, speaking about it. I think contracts for Liverpool now is the thing. Whether that be, of course, Mohamed Salah and Naby Keita's contract, that's a whole other conversation. But I think that contract situations are the key now for Liverpool from now until, of course, January. That now I would say anyway. John says could be because they're confident of getting the Salah deal sorted. Yeah, potentially. Must be Bellingham next season. So yeah, exactly. I'd much rather wait. If Liverpool are confident enough that they can get Jude Bellingham next year, then for sure, absolutely get him. There's no debate in my mind whatsoever. Go and get Jude Bellingham. Liverpool were prepared to get Tchouaméni this year. For me, if Dortmund have said that he's not for sale, he'll be for sale next season. I think Liverpool, if we can somehow get a pre-agreed contract sorted for next year, that would be brilliant. I think the best hope as well for next year, as well for Liverpool going off straight away. I think we could see the reintroduction of the 4-2-3-1 formation this season, which means we will almost definitely have enough depth in midfield until then. No, absolutely, I would agree with you on that, Benjamin. No matter when we go for Bellingham, it's going to cost, but I'm worried about a bidding war next year. But if he wants us, then fingers crossed. I don't think the thing is with that, and it's a great point to be fair, North Red. I think obviously Jude Bellingham, he's a Liverpool fan. He is a Liverpool fan. I think he will stop any bidding war. He will say to Borussia Dortmund, look, I only want one team, and that's Liverpool. Don't try and sell me to don't try and sell me to Real Madrid or anyone else. I want Liverpool Football Club, and I think that's where it'll stop. Similar with, of course, Darwin Núñez. I think, of course, Darwin Núñez told Benfica, I don't want any other team. I want to play Champions League football. I want Liverpool Football Club. And look, straight away, the deal was done between Liverpool and Benfica. There was no options of any other teams to, try and jump in at the last minute. Liverpool were, quite firm. They tested the water straight away, didn't they, with the bid? And of course, now he is officially a Liverpool player. So I think it's a similar thing. I think next year with Jude Bellingham, I would say personally. Anyway, Ramsay's working under the right manager for his development. Absolutely the best manager in the world. The birthday boy today, of course, Jurgen Klopp. As well, of course, Jack's a couple of days ago. Mine, Jurgen's, Mo's as well. Good birthdays every single day at the minute. It's clear it'll be Bellingham 2023 as well. Yeah, I would agree. Bradley being linked with a loan move to Bolton in League One. I think that's a league below him, I would say personally. But still Bolton. Could you remember when they were in the Premier League? It's mad when you look back at Premier League clubs. Bolton, Blackburn. There's so many teams growing up as a kid that are nowhere near there now. And it's sad to see, of course. But you look at teams that like that have gone into liquidation, and that it's mad, isn't it? New drinking game, take a shot every 10 contests, and all that's good stuff. For God's sake, one injury to a midfielder could change everything. No proper cover for Fabinho, in my opinion. I think, to be fair, Brian, I think Jordan Henderson is that cover. I would say. I think Jurgen Klopp. I think last season when Fabinho did get injured and Hendo moved into the six, I think you could quite clearly see. I think he spoke about it at the end of the season as well, going that he sees Jordan Henderson's best position as a six. And if we do move into that 4-2-3-1, it then goes into it where you look at it. You've got two positions then. Thiago's, going to play the majority of the games when he's fit. And then, of course, I think Fabinho, when you look at it, he's fit for, the majority of the season. And it would be interesting, wouldn't it, to see whether or not if Liverpool do go to a 2 instead of a 3. But, yeah, it would be interesting. But let me know you guys' thoughts anyway. Let me scroll back up because the chat has just gone up. Where we buy? There we are. It's clear. Bellingham 2023. Doug is in as well, saying hello, Connor. Hopefully, a fantastic day, Doug. Doug, I don't know if you're in work as well, but hopefully you're having a great day. He will be having a medical weekend. Also, he will be part of the first team for pre-season and won't be sent out on loan. Ramsay and Tsimikas are the future for Trent and Robbo. Yeah, but it's a bit hard. I think Trent. Tsimikas, I think, is the future for Robbo, but then you look at Trent. Trent's what, 23? It's ridiculous how young Trent is, and he's going to, still be here for 6-7 years. That's the problem now. And I did see rumors of apparently Rangers and Celtic wanting to loan Calvin Ramsay back, and I was like, I don't think that's the case. I think with, you look at the last 5, and I was saying this earlier, and I think I got it from the Anfield Wrap. The average age of Klopp's last 5 signings is 21 years old. And we've spoken about the next phase for Liverpool and the next stages for Liverpool, and our squads. When you looked at, I think we had the 5th or 6th, age, the oldest squads in the Premier League last season, and this is the rebuild under Jurgen Klopp. This is why he signed the new deal. He wanted the rebuild to be, not, growing, but, already in place and there while he's here. You look at it, Tsimikas is already here. You look at Carvalho, Elliott, Curtis Jones, Trent, Kelleher, if he's still around here in the next couple of seasons, Kanate as well. Liverpool are building the next phase of Liverpool. Well, Jurgen Klopp's building the next step and the next phase of Liverpool. And, it's frightening because, I can't remember, last season we spoke about it in depth, but we haven't had a Liverpool squad that, yes, the first team's amazing, but we haven't had a second or even a third team that you'd go, they would do decent in a game or a league and that, and that's the thing. We have quality in numbers, and that's what you know the United sides back in the 2000s had. You look at their strike force; they were choosing between Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez, Berbatov. They had Vidic, Ferdinand. There's so many quality in the team and in the squad as well. That's how they got to win. Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues and FA Cups, and that's what Jurgen Klopp wants to do. He wants to build up and the quality as well. Since even since when we last won the Premier League. The quality of the squad's got a lot better, in my opinion, over the last 2-3 years as well. It's amazing to see, and honestly, I can't wait for the future for Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp as well, because it is exciting. Already excited for pre-season already, and look, the league's the season's finished 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's unbelievable. There is still always the option in the future of moving Trent into midfield. Absolutely not, absolutely not. I would never move Trent into midfield. Personally, he already plays there practically, but yeah, not for me. You wouldn't move, as Jurgen said, you wouldn't move the world's best right back into midfield. Personally, we do play on the 5th of July. I've seen something saying we have preseason games then, but I don't know. No, I think the 13th of July is the first game. Might be a closed preseason friendly. Anyway, smash the likes, chat as well. Yes, hello Magendo. If you could, very much appreciate it as well. Hi Brian as well, says Doug. I think we will do a similar Keita-like deal with Dortmund before the window closes for Bellingham. We pay for him now. He joins in the summer of 2023. Yeah, exactly. And we spoke about it yesterday as well. Liverpool don't want to allow him to be, because of course, with it being a World Cup year as well. And look, I'm saying this now, the likelihood of Jude Bellingham playing in England's midfield is very highly unlikely. Even though he's an amazing talent, look at it, he's brilliant. But Gareth Southgate, negative football. It's never going to happen, is it? Realistically, but if he does go on to have a brilliant World Cup, that then adds to his price, which Liverpool don't want to happen, of course. So I think the pre-agreed contract would be a brilliant thing. To be fair, Chris says Bolton be one of the teams battling high end of League One. To be fair, but I agree, Championship is his level at the moment. Yeah, I agree. It's great we have Robbo to mentor Ramsay. He will have a good support from a fellow Scotsman as well. Yeah, absolutely. It's great, isn't it? The fact that you've got the captain of Scotland, to be there for practically a player that, on the face of it and on stats, looks to be incredible. And exactly what Liverpool have needed. How many times have we looked at, for example, Joe Gomez when he played at right back, played brilliantly at right back, but when we went forward, we did lack that attacking presence down the right like we normally have from Trent. Not saying, you look at Joe Gomez, I think his assist against Norwich, it was unbelievable. But, the amount of times that happens, it's very rare for Joe Gomez, and we all know Joe Gomez is a centre-back. As well, talking about contracts as well, it'd be nice if Joe Gomez finally agrees his new deal in the next couple of weeks as well. What do we have? Bolton Wanderers in League One, for God's sake, Doug. Big up Jack Mate as well, says John. For fuck's sake, Doug as well. Hi John, you cheating bastard as well. Last time we played 4-2-3-1, that I can remember, we had Fab, Hendo, and a pivot, and it worked very well. Yeah, I think it was in the middle of 18-19, I think it was, where we played practically mid-table teams for like 4 or 5 weeks in a row, and I think we even played against City as well, which I think we lost that game, to be fair, but it did work at times as well. Jack saying yes, John Ladd. Niall as well in, I think evening cop. Hello Niall, hopefully a fantastic day, my friend. Mackinder with the hands. Yeah, cheating bastard, Doug as well. Says John, do you know what, if you like, it's hard to explain, but if you guys know, Jackson, how are we, gents, as well? Hello, John, Chi, for gentleman as well. Ben says we have a good second team. I think the only issue is a lot of players in that second team are very inconsistent. I don't know. I can see where you're coming from, but I think that there's so much youth in that. I would say, you know, I'm very intrigued to see what midfield Liverpool go with. Because I'm very interested to see what happens with Carvalho, what happens with Harvey Elliott. Of course, we didn't see Harvey Elliott last year until the end of the season practically, where we had to use all of the squads against Southampton. But I'm interested to see what Jurgen Klopp's plans are for the both of them. Will Carvalho be in the midfield? Will he be in the front three? Will Harvey Elliott get the opportunities like he was at the start of last season as well before his injury? There's you look at the second team as well now. You'd say Kelleher in goal. Ramsay, Kanat. Well, I'd say Matip now for me. I think Kanate's in the first 11 for me. Matip, Gomez, Tsimikas, Milner, Keita, Curtis Jones, Jota, Bobby, and then it's the right hand side. Who'd you go with? Do you go with Harvey Elliott, for example, potentially? If Taki stays, there's Taki. And there's so many options, isn't there? For Liverpool at the minute, and I think Liverpool are looking to get rid of players, of course. Taki Minamino supposedly meant to be going, and so forth. And at the moment, Liverpool are done in the window, but you never know. Something might happen in pre-season that Liverpool might have to react to. You don't know. It's all of those things, isn't it? We're hoping, of course, nothing happens, but Liverpool. I think if Liverpool need to, Liverpool will go back in the market. In my opinion. Anyway, but Ravi's in as well, saying Ramsay is a top player. And seeing big up as well. Building a second team while still competing with a team like City is unheard of. We're doing a brilliant job. Exactly. Absolutely. I do agree with you there, Brian. It's the fact that Liverpool shouldn't be competing. And luckily people will go on about, money and, net spend and things like that, and saying that net spend is not, not a thing and that. But look, Liverpool, we operate as a business. That's the whole point of FSG. Liverpool operate as a business. You look at, for example, Darwin Núñez is the first player that we've bought over 50 million, since 2017, something around there. And you look at last season, for example, we had a lot of money from winning, of course, finishing second in the Premier League, winning, every game nearly in the Champions League. I think the only games we didn't win was Benfica at home, Inter at home, and the Champions League final itself, unfortunately. But you look at Liverpool earned a lot of money just from the group stages of the Champions League. And you look at Liverpool and City. City, we know City last season, or the season before that now, they won, quite a lot. And, supposedly they got, 100 million for Jack Grealish out of it. You look at Liverpool have done similar things. Look, 64 million pounds for Darwin Núñez is at the minute, by the looks of things, a brilliant deal. Yes, it could potentially go up to 85 million, but at the minute, it's a very, very good deal. And, for a price like that, it's unbelievable. Some media sites will make you believe Liverpool spent 100 million pounds. But yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it, at the minute, I would say. Are you happy about the fixtures, Daz? Yeah, I'm happy with them. I think we get all of the big away games done by November. I think the main run-in, we always get City in the run-in for the title. And yeah, it's for me, I like the way that it is. Of course, it's weird looking at it, 2 games in November, 2 games in December, of course, sadly interrupted by the World Cup, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'm happy with them. I'm happy with the fixtures, and I'm happy with the fact we've got was it Fulham on the opening day as well. 12:30 kickoff is not the best realistically, but the Premier League season is nearly back. Anyway, I don't cheat, Niall. I hope you're well. I hope you're good as well. Says John. Elliott was starting every game before the injury. He should come back strong next year. I would agree with you as well. Dave's in as well. Hello, Dave. Hopefully on a fantastic day, my friend. As well, and John saying big up to Dave, mate, as well. But if you guys have missed, new coming into the chat as well and coming into the stream, I should say anyway. Of course, the news breaking earlier on. Of course, Paul Joyce saying that Liverpool agree deal for Aberdeen's Calvin Ramsay, which is set to be their last incoming transfer of the window, prepared to wait until 2023 for midfield reinforcements. And then, of course, Dave Maddock also bringing up as well the fact that, Calvin Ramsay done for £6.5 million, takes summer spending up to close to £100 million. Jurgen Klopp ready to wait to make midfield his priority in 2023. Well-known admirer of Jude Bellingham, who may be available then as well. And of course, Paul Joyce also added on to it, saying Klopp is admirer of Jude Bellingham, with Liverpool confident that they have enough depth in the midfield this season. Their strategy is not to sign stopgaps. They are prepared to wait for the right player and discard any criticism that comes their way as well. But again, we all know that Liverpool are, from this, I would say as well, Liverpool are definitely going after Jude Bellingham this summer, in my opinion anyway. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the chat as well. Let me know your thoughts on, Calvin Ramsay as well. How do you think he will do this coming season as well? And, will he get any game time? I think he definitely plays in the cups, especially, the Carabao Cup, right around the start of the season with so many games, jam-packed in as well. Be interesting to see, if he does get the game time or not as well. But Northred says, I just hope we are in good shape before we break for the World Cup. So many games to play, and there's more games in the Champions League, or is that next year? I think that's next year, North. I think, to be fair, I think we've got 2 years left of the normal structure for the Champions League, and then you get the stupid thing that UEFA have come up with, which, again, why fix things that are, are not broken? It's ridiculous. But yeah, I think that's in the beginning of 24-25? So, we've still got 2 seasons, or 1 season left. It is, 1 season of the normal Champions League. But yeah, it's ridiculous. It's going to be another, I think, another 8 games, I think it is, than what's already played at the minute for the Champions League. It's it's ridiculous, realistically anyway. Everyone is wondering where Carvalho will play. It's an interesting thing, isn't it, Brian? It's there's so many options for Liverpool this season. Even with the new boy Darwin Núñez, of course we all expect him to be starting up front in the middle for Liverpool, but there's always the option that he could play on the left. Or he could play in a 2, alongside Mo at striker. There's so many combinations that Liverpool, I think, will try in pre-season. Of course, the season, Jurgen Klopp will know what he wants from his team. But what I would say is I think Carvalho will play on the left of a midfield 3. In my opinion, he's been playing there quite a lot for Portugal's under-21 team at the minute. But again, he could easily be, a false 9 type player. Could easily play on the left of a front 3, of a midfield 3. There's so many options for, of course, Carvalho and even Darwin Núñez, Javi Elliott. There's so many people for different options. I would say anyway. But guys, before we do head off, if anyone wants to have a well, not a chat, but if anyone has any questions about any transfers and that, because that's practically it with the news now, and that'll probably be it now for the summer news as well. No more signings, no more transfer videos, anything. That's it. We're done until the start of the season. Anyway, but if anyone has anything else to say in the chat, then please feel free to leave your comments in the comments as well. But for me, £6.5 million is a bargain for Calvin Ramsay. you're getting, the young player of the year in Scotland, voted, what was it, last week? And the fact that Liverpool are building, like we spoke about earlier on, building the next phase of Liverpool. Of course, we've already had, the success we've had over the last, 5-6 years under Jurgen Klopp. This is the next phase of Liverpool players coming in, and hopefully trying to recreate us winning a Premier League, winning a Champions League again, and so on. And I can't wait to see the partnerships already being made. Of course, the player I'm most excited about, of course, is Darwin Núñez. Fabio Carvalho as well, them two, but as well, Calvin Ramsay, just to see what he does as well in a Liverpool shirt as well. I'm very, very intrigued to see what does happen for Liverpool next season. But I know Klopp likes to drip feed players in, but I think Darwin comes straight in, but Carvalho is included gradually. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing I think we were speaking about yesterday as well, isn't it? The fact that it will be interesting to see what happens with Darwin Núñez. Will he be brought straight in, similar to Luis Diaz? We spoke yesterday going on about there's only been 2, 3, 4 players that have managed to just start straight away. You look at Alisson Becker, Virgil van Dijk, Luis Diaz as well. Them three in particular are the only players that I can think of that were just straight away brought in and walked into the team. And now could Darwin Núñez be that similar player? Potentially. He has a full pre-season. You look at it, all the Liverpool players will have a full pre-season for like the first time, I think, ever under Jurgen Klopp. But it is interesting to see, the combinations of what will happen, because I think the first game is, of course, against United in Bangkok. So I will be intrigued to see whether or not Jurgen Klopp goes full out with his 11 in Bangkok, or whether or not if he'll of course rotate with the team. Of course, we'll play like we normally do, one team, the first half, and then the second half we'll play another team. And that's how we've gone with pre-season, haven't we? Since I think Klopp's come in, to be fair anyway. But where will Minamino go and how much? £17 million at the minute. It's been spoken about with Minamino, and I think it's between Fulham and Monaco, I think, at the minute. As far as teams have been mentioned, I think Wolves have been mentioned as well with Minamino. But at the minute, I think the prime places for him to go, I think at the minute, Fulham and Monaco. I think Liverpool would want to sell him to Monaco more than anyone. But of course, Monaco have money from the Tchouaméni deal, so it was all planned all along. Let Monaco and Real Madrid bid up the money a bit more, and we'll think we can have it back. We can have the money for Minamino anyway. Squad depth, Connor. The title is coming home. I hope so, Gary. I hope so. I hope number 20 will be back in Liverpool's hands next season anyway. But guys, thank you very much for tuning in to tonight's show anyway. But again, Calvin Ramsay, £6.5 million deal. If you guys are new around here and wondering the news, we'll bring the news before we do head off anyway. Fritz Romano saying Liverpool are set to sign Scottish fullback Calvin Ramsay. Done deal. Official bid submitted last week and has been accepted. Aberdeen after changes on add-on structure as well. Paul Joyce also adding on to it as well. Liverpool agree deal for Aberdeen's Calvin Ramsay, which is set to be their last incoming of the transfer window. Prepared to wait until 2023 for midfield reinforcement. Liverpool have agreed a £6.5 million deal for Calvin Ramsay. Takes some spending to 100 million. Jurgen Klopp is ready to wait to make midfield his priority in the summer of 2023. Well-known admirer of Jude Bellingham, who may be available then, from Dave Manick as well. But that is all the news practically for now, guys. Anyway, before we do head off, Gary saying Bellingham is next, Connor. Hopefully he will be next. Gary as well. Robbo, Diaz and Salah all have that nice winter break too, exactly. All of them as well. And potentially players that don't get picked as well will the likes of Joe Gomez get picked. Of course, you look at it. Trent. Trent should be getting picked, and I think he will get picked for England. But the way England work and the way Gareth Southgate works, wouldn't surprise me if Trent got left out, which is ridiculous. Should never ever be left out of a England squad. But the whole debate last year when it with the Euros, oh, will Trent make it? Won't he make it? And I'm like, he should be the first person on that, on that team sheet, realistically. And it's shocking, isn't it? But yeah, it would be a good winter break for those lads as well. And you never walk alone, y'all as well, says North Red as well. But yeah, guys, hopefully we'll be back tomorrow with the show anyway. It won't be a transfer video show tomorrow. Hopefully there'll be some news or anything like that anyway. But of course, we'll let you guys know in the community tab or on Twitter as well. So if you're not following us on there, then please head over and do so right now. If you're new around here as well, please hit that subscribe button as well. Thank you to the support over the last couple of days as well. Like I did say, it's very much appreciated as well. And if you haven't already, then please feel free to leave a like on the video. It does help with algorithms, and it helps out with the YouTube stuff as well. So thank you very much for all of that good stuff as well. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. If there is going to be a show, it'll be at 9 o'clock tomorrow, usual times anyway. But yeah, we're going to go live more at 9 o'clock from now on anyway. So fingers crossed we can do that, tomorrow as well. But guys, hopefully, we'll see you all tomorrow. Please stay safe, please stay well, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I'll see you all tomorrow.